get back to that story, Sonny. Just, just you listen to Boomer Great One. He's gonna tell you about how it was back in the olden days, back before fire, back when we walked uphill for everything. In fact, we didn't even have a concept of downhill because there was no downhill. Everything was uphill. We thought that was normal. We didn't even have a word for it because there was no alternative. It was uphill all the time. You just need to reach down and grab yourselves by your bootstraps and pull yourselves up, Sonny. Because when I was your age, I bought a house for $25,000. And I made that money on my paper route and bussing tables at the local cafe. And if I could do it, you can do it too. You just need to reach down and pull yourself up and just buckle up there, buckaroo. God, I hate boomers.
So this is going to be a meandering one because some thoughts just can't be crystallized. So, and it requires a nuanced understanding of the point I'm trying to make as opposed to the literal statements and the words coming out. So try and understand the intent and maybe not so much the literal words. So in the olden days, one of the main reasons this channel exists, aside from finance and poor parenting and is a lot of guys, you want to, how do I get the girls out? Which I won't answer that question anymore. There's adequate books and things and everything. We've reconstituted the information. You don't need it. And usually 9 out of 10 times when someone's asking me that, the asterisk, the addendum should be without contributing any work, without having to do anything hard. And that's why I don't answer that question. But still remains, the primary interest of men is the pursuit of women and sex. Not your personality, lady. Just terribly sorry. Asshole consulting, not touchy-feely consulting. And so they like, how do I get the girls up? And think about that statement right off the bat, because it's a very unconscious premise that you immediately assume they're men and women, everyone, and not maliciously. It's very unconscious. There's no pointing the fingers. How dare you? How do I, the guy, get the girls? Meaning, how do I, the man, take action? It is my responsibility and agency to go and get the girls up. And if you look at pretty much all the dating advice, whether it comes from the guy side or the red pill side or the girl side, I wouldn't say the feminist side, but the he side. All you got to do is be really, and be a little bit clever and be a little bit funny. And, what you really have to, no consistency. It's all over the place. It's the freaking cloud on fire. There's no logic or reason. It's just what that person emoted and felt at that moment in time. If you have a puppy, that would, and if you, and forget about the point I'm trying to make. If you try to look at the efficacy of that advice, it's like, there's no way I can do all that shit. There's no way. If you followed all the women's advice on how to get women, it would contradict each other, sabotage, it blow up. You don't have the time to do all that stuff. But the point being, whether it's advice coming from guys, old wise men, red pill or not, or advice coming from the girls or dating experts or gurus, what the premise is immediately going into it is you want to get the girls up. So here's what a man's got to do. And then if you look at all the advice in terms of volume, but especially if-then statements and complexity and contingency and environment and strategy, like the fucking Eisenhower had an easier time planning Operation Overlord, which I believe was D-Day. That required less complications. And this is why I like to call the Labyrinth. Because you say, okay, the girl's on one side and you got to get to her. Well, if you go here and you wear those shoes, then, well, don't do that, and don't do that. But if it's Tuesday, And I'm looking at that, and I'm like, not only is that exhausting, but why is it this gets back to the original assumption, why is it the man's gotta go through the labyrinth? Why do we, just do you notice how unconscious and just automatic that is? There's the girl. Now you guys gotta go and do this. There's this assumption that we gotta go and do all that. Now, there's a lot of veracity to that, and the reason we're all predisposed into it is because, once again, I'll say it before, men have a much higher interest, especially in sex, but women in general than women do men, and certainly sex as well. And those it would be like akin to in the power dynamics, it'd be OPEC. OPEC has the oil, we gotta go to OPEC to the oil. They got the goods. They got the jobs. That's what we want. We got to go there. But very similar to I wouldn't want to call it a psychological revolution, but that's about as close as words as we can get with how younger people are viewing the employer employee dynamic, the power dynamic there. That's changing. You see the meme, it's the two gunslingers. And the employer gunslinger says, "Can you explain this 3-month gap on your resume?" And now the other gunslinger says, "Applicant or employee, can you explain why this position hasn't been filled since March?" People are starting to realize that it is a dichotomy. There are two participants in this negotiation or this war or this fight or this game or whatever. We'll call it a negotiation. And whereas in times past, like, "Oh, my lady, I gotta go to work and get a house, white picket fence, madam, oh, you're." Well, I have a master's degree and I have several certifications and they all come blah, blah, blah. Now Zoomers ain't taking that shit no more. You ain't paying shit. You want me to get a why is it fake job postings? That's a new one. Serious issue if the numbers are even half correct. It's like, no, we're not doing this anymore. And it's kind of the same thing now where it's like, wait, okay, yes, traditional power dynamics, biological programming, and sex drive and interest aside, there are two people here now. There's still two people. Why is it we got to go through the labyrinth to get you? Why do we have to do all this, dance monkey dance, do backflips, horse shit? Dance, little boy, dance. Entertain me, little monkey. Especially now with the internet, being able to compare notes, guys like, fuck that shit. And a very good philosopher, this is the point I want to make. Wait a minute. Okay, yes, I understand men have a higher interest in women than women do men. But that doesn't, why don't you cross the labyrinth? Why should we go through all this shit? Because at the premise, at the end of the premise, just like, well, we have a job. We have a job for you, job applicants. They at the throughout all the going through the labyrinth, the assumption is the girl wants to go out with you. Like, now, contingent on you passing through the labyrinth. And I understand men have to improve their lives. You can't just sit there and do nothing. You have to do some things to become a quality man. But at the end of the day, kind of like you millennials and the boomers said, well, if you do X, Y, and Z, you'll get $100,000 a year job, baby. We'll afford a house. Oh, how'd that work? But getting back to the topic at hand, the whole point, if you can hear this in the voice and tone of women that give advice or men, they're like, "Oh no, we like you. Yeah, no, we want men. Yeah, no, but here's just what you have to do." With my ball sack on fire while I'm programming code with my left toe, juggling 8 balls. If you wanted men, why the fuck ain't you going halfway through the labyrinth? If you wanted men, all right, but why don't we get rid of the labyrinth altogether? What's with the labyrinth? Again, I understand a reasonable amount of men have to improve themselves. You have to be physically attractive. Both men and women have to be physically attractive. You have to have a job. You can't, you got to be clean, be in shape. And I know be tall. That's a very important one. So all you guys stop being short. All right. But after a while, you got to wait. I'm starting to get the idea you're not coming here for fishing. Good joke. um, and then they gotta say, wait, are you even serious about these negotiations? You claim to like guys. You say because you say, well, do you girls want? Well, guys, well, I don't know. It was this Herculean fucking impenetrable fortress like the guns of Navarone or where eagles dare. I'm starting to get the and after a while, this labyrinth, and I've made this point many times before, the labyrinth is just it can't cost a man his life to go through the labyrinth. It's too costly to go through the labyrinth. I'm wondering why is there such a labyrinth? If you really want to date guys that much, why is there this huge labyrinth to begin with? Why don't you just get rid of it and some kind of qualifications and requirements aside, and then go and start dating guys? And then you think about this. This is where if you're just jacked enough, you got T-Rash, guess what? They'll get rid of that labyrinth in half a second. They will. And this goes back to the old rule, Rollo Tomasi's axiom. Women make rules for betas and break rules for alphas. If you're a good-looking enough guy, they'll get rid of the labyrinth. They will actually come through the labyrinth themselves. But then my whole point is, why do you even put the labyrinth in then for everyone else with the if you're not gonna if you have agency, women really like guys, they would come over and meet you halfway and we negotiate and all that. The fact this absurd beyond a reasonable amount of expectation. We have to have the right cologne. Again, go back to watching our good friend Chandler. These girls were popping the bubbles on because Chandler, she didn't like his clothes. I didn't like his vibe. Fuck you and your labyrinth. Fuck you. I would argue there is absolutely no intellectual honesty on the part, well, not all women, of course, but generally speaking, on the crossing of the labyrinth. Just like the baby boomer said, if you millennials cross the labyrinth and get good grades and all go to school, there'll be $100,000 a year job. And you get there, it's not there. No. If the boomers wanted to give you a fair shot at life, they wouldn't have required you have a master's degree or a college degree. Corporations would have had training programs. They would have had trade programs in the high schools to get you kids right off the bat. If they wanted you to get educated to the point you could go work a job, they wouldn't have charged you $300 a credit and $800. Well, I mean, $800 is a bit expensive, but $400 for a textbook. They wouldn't have put up all those barriers and hurdles. Now, I don't know what maliciousness, evil, laziness, despicable filth ruminates in the mind of boomers. I don't know why they did that, but they did. But for the girls, what's with this? And I think they actually believe their own horseshit. Well, you just have to be nice. You have to do this, and show up and open up the door. And you should pay for the date. No, okay, we get there. Oh, yeah. His shoelaces weren't tied the right way. All these petty disqualifiers. Just more. I guess they just had more labyrinth on labyrinth on labyrinth. To the point where, as men are rapidly concluding, look, you either be alpha or you go home. You do not have the time to be crossing this labyrinth. You do not have the time to be checking off all these boxes in the never-ending litany. It's either you are an alpha and the labyrinth is gone, or you don't even bother. You don't even bother. I think that's where we are socially, psychologically speaking, where we are some people, maybe not as much as Zoomers are questioning employment requirements and putting the employers on the hot seat. But men are starting to say, well, wait a minute. No. Okay. Yes, I have to do some things to attract you. You also. This I am the table bullshit, and I got to slay dragons and hack through some thickets of thorns and whatever that Disney movie was. No. No. This is two people, okay? This is negotiation. You're here under the premise you would like to meet men. Well, start acting like it. I mean, you could start seeing it. You could see it in the Matrix. Another place you could see it, online dating data. That's painfully obvious. That's nothing but a labyrinth. Swipe, 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 typity, type, 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 swipe, 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 typity, type, 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 type. And then there's no dates. And then Bumble, oh, I don't know. Now men gotta contact the girls. Like, no, we're done going through the labyrinth. And they are. Men are wake. Have you girls noticed men are asking you out less? I mean, online they might just swipe or whatever, get into DMs. It's very little minimal effort. But even there, the men are saying, are you noticing there are fewer and fewer men entering the labyrinth? This is the, you throw in the political context of, oh, we're all equal now. Okay, well, where is it? They they don't have time. They don't have the energy. They don't have the opportunity cost. That you can't expect men to sacrifice their lives going through a labyrinth doing all this horseshit. I'm still pissed off. Me and a whole couple generations of men's now, I guess. We're still pissed off we went to those nightclubs. What a fucking tremendous waste of time. And so now I think if you girls want to find it, you're going to have to get rid of the labyrinth or make it a very simplified lab. Okay, you got the 3 or 4, you made the 3 or 4 right turns. You don't have student loan debt. You got the right type of degree, and you're good with your finances. But I'll be honest with you, girls can assess whether a man was good with his finance. All you know, all you girls know, and be deadly honest about this, is for your own benefit. All you girls know is how to find a guy who spends his money, not who's good with money. There's a difference. Hell, anyone can spot a guy that spends his money. Got a bunch of fancy shit. The question is that you need to figure out, is he spending his own money or the bank's money? But that's a course I'll offer on Teachable someday, meaning never, because no one would sign up for it. But you really gotta get rid of this labyrinth. We really gotta understand is like, oh, okay, what do you do? You and especially for you boys, one, you girls have got to simplify the labyrinth. Like 3 or 4 quality things, go out with them a couple times, give them a shot. But for you boys, you don't enter the labyrinth. Don't even entertain. Don't even pay the mental price. Like, oh wait, I shouldn't wear like fashion advice is the perfect example of going down dead ends. Oh, well, you should really wear blue with whatever red pant. Oh, I should. Oh, I heard that somewhere. Oh, you should really, chivalry stuff. That shit. There's this big old, like the longest part of the labyrinth that doesn't get you to it. That's called chivalry. I'm not saying be a dick, but you don't do that chivalry bullshit. Absolutely not. For you guys, it really is. You go to the gym, you get jacked, you be aloof. I mean, that's where your efforts should go. But all this advice. Oh, and I love Chris Williams. I forgot to mention Chris Williamson. I I don't one, I like the guy. 2, 95, 98% of his advice is spot on. But I remember he had someone on. He's like, "Oh, I don't think looks are the number one thing." Get the fuck out of here, Chris. Of course you don't. Although I think he does because he put a shit. Now, if you don't know, go look up Chris Williams. He he's internet influencer now, but I think he was a model at one time. I mean, still drop dead gorgeous of a man. He's jacked. He's perfect, handsome, and all. I don't think that it's. And of course, he's got the fucking British accent. Of fucking course he does. British accent privilege on YouTube. 8 times the subscribers of us Yanks with our rebel accents, the revolutionary accents, not part of the Queen thing. Well, King now. And I don't know if he actually believed his own horseshit or not. Maybe because he obviously works out all the time. He knows what he knows women have to, but he's like, oh, I don't think it's looks. Like, what? Yeah, because you got him in spades, man. I believe it's my personality. I dare Chris Williams. Stop working out, stop dieting, gain yourself 100 pounds, become a fat fuck. And you tell me how that person, you go follow all the touchy feely, politically correct girl Oprah advice. Oh, just be yourself. But that you follow that advice. Tell me how that goes, Chris. And then, oh no, you have to think about it. Oh, and Taylor, the amount of tailoring and kowtowing and uh optimizing or specialty made tactic, how we tailor everything. Oh, the women, think about how I'm trying to think of something so granular to show you that it's impossible because nobody's got time for that shit. Where because there's so many and they come in and out of fashion. There's some horseshit like you should listen to a woman. I guess that's been around for no. Unless you say something funny or interesting or intelligent. Really listen to her and listen, heater, or being emotionally available. All this amorphous horse shit, you can't even define. What do you mean being I'm here, aren't I? What do you want? You just don't have the right attitude. I know where's that? Shut up. Find out most of your negotiations and argument with women boil down to you have a very real world observation or issue that must be resolved or has to be addressed. But the girl doesn't like it. So now there's this emotional monster and crying that comes out, which is just a plea for you to take care of the shit. Like, speak words. What? And you guys think, well, what did I do? I did something. No. You were just being literal. And they go into literal witchcraft. Well, you don't understand the emotional and no, you're right, I don't. Because it's not real, you can't describe it. I can't even describe what I'm trying to describe because it's so amorphous and bullshit, there's no way to describe it. But it's a thing, it's there. We're like, hey, we gotta go and cut back money. Well, what do you mean? No, there's no crying here. You need to lose weight. No. Whoa. No crying here. You need to lose weight. We need to cut the budget. Need to clean the house. I don't know, something. And I gotta. But if you oh you need here. I got one. This epitomizes it. Ladies' night. Now I don't know if this is a thing anymore. I'm sure somewhere, but not too long ago. I think within everybody's memory there were nightclubs and bars, right? And there were ladies' night. Think about how far you guys are going to stand zero shot. There, I'd say it was complete intellectual dishonesty. There was no good faith in negotiating crossing Labyrinth. You gotta wear a ridiculous outfit. You gotta work up the money to pay a cover charge to get into a nightclub. The music is loud and blaring, right? And it's ladies' night. Now you think, well, ladies' night, women get in for free. Women could drink for free. You could buy women drinks. But then why do they make it loud? So you're not bothering the women. So women can go and dance. And you dipshits think, well, I'm going to go out and dance on the floor too. I'm going to try and in this loud environment. And then you get a number or whatever you take. I don't know what you kids do nowadays, even if there isn't but back then you get a number, 70% of the time they might call you back. You went through all that horse shit. Oh, and back in the day, you could smoke. So you come out smelling like a chimney. Probably got some cancer building in you. Early stages, the baby cancer cells are starting to form. Hey, we got enough smoke now. We could start forming. And then maybe you get the day. Maybe after all that, one night was too much. That was it. I know a bunch of guys who went there. Went for years. Not so much nightclubs. I went to dance halls. Is a different thing, but still the same premise. Why do girls go? Oh, girls go. They dress like that. Oh, we want to find a guy, and then, but we're not dressing for you. We're just here to dance with our girlfriends. Him, I'll take him though. Buying him drinks, trying to yell at him. No, that's a labyrinth, and that is. Do girls come that far for you? Is there a guys' night where we get in for free and get free drinks, and girls buy us drinks, and they gotta yell over loud? You see, if you switch it, you see. Don't tell me you girls have an interest in men when this is the fucking reality and we got to go through all this shit. I know people keep telling me I'm all pessimistic that I keep saying women don't like men that much. They don't. The phenomena of ladies' nights and nightclubs, that wouldn't exist if we had equal interest in each other. But now, guys, this is so absurd, especially if there's no intellectual honesty on the other side of the labyrinth. You don't have the time or the psychological resources to go through all these hoops and go through all these labyrinthses, plural of labyrinth is, for they're gonna like, "Oh, well, oh, yeah, gee, oh, geez, yeah, no, well, all right, I'll settle, but you're not getting the fun sex like I used to have with the football team. Okay, yeah, and divorce." No. And like I said, it'd be one thing if these were things men should be doing anyway. It was a very short labyrinth. Get a skill or a trade, get a good job, stable finances, be in shape. Pretty women should expect that. Absolutely. Right. And you can get through that. And you should be getting through it because it's for your own good to be in shape, have good finances, good skill and trade. That's mutually beneficial to everyone involved. But the rest of the horse shit, the rest of their dating list requirements that you got to navigate, negotiate, no, you don't have the time for that. You do not have the time for that. The bullshit, if you don't know, I'm not telling out. Find another guy. Find You didn't order me a drink. I did, but go find that guy. Go find that guy. I'm not. Yeah. So I like younger people are starting to require the most basic of courtesies from employers, and they're not going to apply for jobs unless there actually is a job. People are they're spending their time doing something else, leaving the labor force. What was the other one I came up with? Young people are starting to question college degrees now. Like, is this going to pay? You guys should, yes, you have to prove yourself to women to a certain extent, but so do women. This whole psychology, like, okay, there's a girl that okay, what do I got to do? No, man. You do what's best for you. Get your shit together, get your life together. All right. And now, you girls, especially in the era of equality, now you can start making some moves. Now, I know, girls, you're never going to ask out a guy because you're not as courageous as men. You are inferior in that regard. I will say that. Now, yeah, it's rare and incredibly brave women have done it, but generally speaking, we're just not going to expect you to ask guys out. We know you're not going to be equal there because you don't want to be. But you're going to have to make it drop the handkerchief, be very clear. And if you wanted to start getting some dates and find somebody, you're going to unfortunately have to go on dates. The whole problem there with Bumble and dating apps. You can't have dating apps if there's no dates. All the advice that, a handful of times, girl, how do I find a guy? Go into your inbox, start looking for the diamond in the rough, respond to them, and then go on a date. We're not asking you to ask guys out. Heaven forbid, we know. But if the guy asks you out on a date, or you really like a guy, you say yes. You express a pretty clear interest, not lewd or over, obviously don't embarrass yourself. Be classy about it. But no guy is going to be crossing the labyrinth anymore. And you can also you could just knock it off with your horseshit dating advice. I know there's a lot of girl dating coaches that make all their money on the worst fucking dating advice ever, but it's what girls want to hear, so they're going to make their money. So you go. But for those of you girls that are actually interested in the men, knock it off with this labyrinth shit. Is he clean? Does he not have a criminal record? Does he have a life? Does he have okay? And now you go and okay, drop your handkerchief and bump into him. If you're really equal, you can ask him out. Whoa! Wait a second. I know. Do the thing you said you were going to do. But barring that miracle, make it clear, flirt with the guy if he asks you, and then you have to go on the date. And I think that'd be better for both people. What, you don't think you've passed up on some good men because you had some snot-nosed, lippy 21-year-old holier than thou attitude and expectations? You girls will find out when you're 45, and then you'll never admit it because you couldn't be like, no, I gotta double down. All right, but for you boys, you don't cross that. Don't get caught up in that dating. Oh, what do I do? Just don't get caught up in it. I hate to give the guy credit because he's the special needs redheaded adopted brother that nobody wanted, but modern life John does have it down. Money, muscle, games, frame. It's really that simple. Be in good shape, have a good job or good profession or trade. And by the way, when you're young, you may not have a good job because you're working towards it. Have a plan, be in good shape, be healthy, be clean, get to the gym, be a good guy too, be clever, be diplomatic. And then, and then you're gonna have ass girls out that don't just sit on your ass. But don't you be, oh, are we going? We're only going. Oh, Devani's done. Oh, can you help me move? No, no, I can't. Oh. Can you help me with what was the three things? You never help girls with cars, carpentry, or computers? No, that's just them using money. That's just using you for free labor. No, absolutely not. Just they'll let you know, and you let them come to you. They will get rid of the labyrinth. They will fill in the labyrinth with concrete and walk straight across to you. That's what you should be. That's the only way you. Hey, I'd like you to fill in the. You could say, hey, fill in the labyrinth with concrete and walk over to me. You could say that. Don't you dare walk over through that labyrinth. Absolutely not. Life is too short. All right, let's go to the super chats. RZR Power, $10. Black pill or not, the labyrinth is for average and below men. Yes. The better you look or clout you have, the easier the labyrinth gets. But we know this already. We do. It was that unconscious, immediate, like, okay, I got to get the girls. Like, yeah, yes, you do. But that doesn't mean you follow their advice at all, or even conventional advice, including men like Chris Williamson. You, as always, it goes back to Stoicism. What do you control? You control you. You become the best you possibly can be, but life is too fucking short to be getting into that labyrinth. Imagine the mattress carriers and the male feminists. Imagine how much time they spent in the labyrinth doing exactly what they were told, jumping through hoops, and still not getting laid, still not meeting a girl. Life is way too short. Dre, $2 girls. Guys should wear their bank balance on shirt. Yeah, I mean, exactly. Dre, $2. A backhand a day keeps the stupid away. No. Never do we advocate that. Never. Not once have I ever. You worse than that, you just leave. You walk away. The non-violence principle. Dre, $2. Being wealthy isn't important. Warren, yeah. Did he actually say that? Dre's, $2. Being a 4'9" manlet isn't that bad. Cappy, yes. Well, we can't all be like you, Dre, the 6'2" man with the gorgeous black penis. We just can't all be you. Cappy Wazowski, $5. I've passed off on so many opportunities within the last 5 years. It doesn't even faze me anymore. Women are simply not worth the time. It's rare. Well, and that's another thing. I'll explain this to you girls. It might be a little bit harsh, but what Cappy Wazowski said. As men get older, they become better at assessing whether or not you're going to be a waste of time or whether you're worth investing in or not. Their time. A lot of it comes through trial and error experience, but a lot of it also is as men get older, they start making money and they have opportunity costs. Also, there's the law of diminishing returns. Like, yeah, it's great going to the nightclub the first couple of times, but then it gets boring. And so, but more so to you girls, the older men get, and we're not talking like 50, we're talking mid to late 20s to start getting a little bit street smart. Like, I'm not going to the clubs anymore. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to rent a boat. I'm not flashing the money I don't have. The smart ones do anyway. And then they can kind of assess. And now, especially with the internet, look, you think guys can't assess things with stereotyping, which you can argue that's unfair. You're right, and everyone should be given a fair shot. But okay, now you got tattoos. Yeah, just like your time, you girls are looking for disqualifiers because your time is incredibly precious. Same thing with guys. Does she have tattoos? Does she have some other man's kids? How many other man's kids? If you're older, what kind of degree does she have? That's a big one. That's a silent one. Because girls think, oh, any degree is a good degree. And guys are starting to get wise. Like, there is a difference between a woman who has a degree in oh, mechanical engineering versus a woman with a degree in English literature or journalism or any other worthless horseshit degree. It says a lot. Matter of fact, I think that's one of the number one things you men should be asking of a woman is like, what's your career and profession? Like, what's your degree? She says, oh, I'm a plumber. Hey, hold on to that one. I'm a teacher. You and a billion other people. I'm a journalism major. Majored in political science. I don't need to date childish activists who have no intention of working or growing up. No, it says everything you need right there. Yeah, they're getting real hip to the job. They're becoming very astute Sherlock Holmes detectives as to whether or not you might make a quality gal down the road. Hell, you could just go look at an Instagram or a Facebook, like, okay, what do you advocate? Oh, you advocate taking other people's money and you advocate the current thing, whatever the current thing is. You advocate everything society told you to advocate. Okay, so there's no human core, soul, or brain there. Let me guess, you like to travel. Why can't I find a man? You could give me like if there was someone savvy enough and ballsy enough, a movie studio, we could do My Fair Lady. You could. This would be great. It'd be great. A modern day interpretation of My Fair Lady. We take a fat, tatted up, purple haired, rabid, feminist, whatever thing follower, thing supporter. And then you get a savvy older gentleman. It could be me, but somebody else, just somebody older. And he trains her to go from just this shitty ass human that society told her to become into an attractive young woman who all of a sudden, wow, she gets a guy. That would be so politically incorrect. But if he did it with really good writing and made it funny and charming, oh God, that are the look, I'm not a billionaire. Are there any conservative Mel Gibson should get on that. Look, they did Taming of the Shrew. They do remakes of that. McClintock is Taming of the Shrew, but on a Western setting. Why can't we have a social justice warrior woke turned into traditional girl, um, My Fair Lady? We could do it. And it would so freak out the woke Nazis. They would get so pissed off if you were to just like, here's this fat, ugly, mutilated girl who's just like all the other purple-haired freaks, poor, in debt, angry, pissed off, on drugs. Then you get a guy, I don't know, he has his own background, but he's like, "We're gonna turn you into from this creature that society has created, this Frankenstein monster that a socialist society has created, and we're gonna turn you into a proper young lady with, learn some accounting skills, get her finances together, go for a gym, and you could just see the transition. Like all of a sudden her hair is a normal color. She starts to lose weight. And she got rid of the piercings, she gets rid of the tattoos. You know? And then all of a sudden she gets a job as an assistant accounts payable clerk. And then her house is picked up. We could do it. We could. We could. And then there's a guy. Oh God, no. We can't have her like at the end of the movie. It's finished off where she falls in love with a good quality man. Yes, we could. That's exactly what they hate. Oh, would all the right people hate that? All of them would. They didn't have to have the group of other Frankenstein monsters that society created. Like, well, you think you're better than us? You think you're better than us? Oh, you're a pick me. We could do it. We could do it. Somebody give me a budget. I'll write it. Dre, $2. Smart guys hide their power levels nowadays. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. There is a market out there to help girls find guys, but the girls just wouldn't buy it. I mean, there's a demand, I should say, but they don't. I'm going to create an accounting course for Chad instead because I know people would buy that. Dre, $2. Pretty Women remake with Lizzo coming soon. Yeah. Cappy Wazowski, $2. I think Barbie was supposed to be an attempt. What is that? An attempt DI? DK? I don't know. I can't see that. Cappy Wazowski again, $2. Like trying to wake women up, but I don't know, maybe not. No, I didn't see it, but I heard it was all about the patriarchy I- and women liked it. Women liked it predominantly because it was Barbie. It was fun. It was girly. I heard the performances were great, but there was a political left-wing feminist message. I don't care. No, Cappy Wazowski, girls are not just about to turn the corner like, yeah, you know what? I should be making cookies. I should be loving my husband and raising my children. That's not going to happen in my lifetime. It won't. Maybe some immigrant families it will. Certainly in the Muslim community, that has remained the same. That's obviously there. But yeah, rank and file general population of the United States, no, it's not going to happen. They will ride the lemmings will go off the cliff to their death. They are all committed that train is not stoppable. The bridge is out. There's no way of slowing it down. You all should stop trying to slow down the train. You should be running down or getting a helicopter ride as quickly to the cliff where the bridge is out. Set up your lawn chairs, get your popcorn, and watch the train go off the tracks and into the gulch down below. You should watch the train wreck. Nonstop Dre, $2. Beauty and the Beast remake with Tess Holiday and Bear. Yeah. Yeah. All right, there you guys go. Don't get into Labyrinth. Link below. What do we got? Link below. The book numbers analyzing the ROI in the pursuit of women. I can't emphasize that enough. If you are still like, but girls say they like us, will you please go get the book and look at the numbers? Do you want a book full of, it's not a thick book, I don't know, about that long, full of data and statistics measuring women's interest in men? Will you please go get that so you know? I don't make this shit up. That's there below. And then, hey, you know what? Cappy, the girls won't go on a date with me. Okay. What do you think you should do? Well, I don't know. Well, let me tell you the next best thing to do. Get your financial shit together. Right? If girls aren't going to go on a date with you, what should you do? Well, you should go work. Get a good skill. Improve yourself. So that's where Bachelor Pad Economics comes in. Financial advice Bible for men. It has all major and minor decisions you'll make from the age of 14 to death. Somewhere I'm going to imagine you're in that age range. So you should go get that book and find out where you are in that line of decisions and start educate yourself about the decisions you need to make. And you can always work a second job because at the end of the day, you go on a date, it costs you money and didn't get laid. But if you worked an extra shift, it didn't cost you that money and you made more money. And you also then didn't get laid. Oh, wait, one more. Dre, $2. Brokeback Mountain remake with Cappy and Blair White. No. I'll play the old curmudgeonly man, but I don't think I got the good acting chops to be the man to turn the. I could do a dancing. I could teach the girl how to be a ballroom dancer. Madam, we are now going to learn to waltz. Yeah. The man will. Oh, you got to have a dance scene, even if I'm not the actor. You have to have a dance instruction where it's like the man will lead, you will follow. Otherwise, the dance don't work. Oh, come on. Who's going to fund me? Come on. Is there conservative? Is Mel Gibson around? Mel Gibson should do that. I could write because I have the world's greatest Harlequin romance book in my mind. I have a brilliant one. I wonder if I can. Nah, they're too different. Their objectives are too different. All right, that's it. I'll see you guys later. Toodles.